Hey there, High Flyer family. Welcome back to the High Flyer Insights channel, where we believe that small mindset shifts today can lead to massive life changes tomorrow. In today's video, we're tackling a challenge so many of us face: the constant talk between instant gratification, like splurging on a once-in-a-lifetime concert, and our long-term financial goals, like building an emergency fund or saving for retirement. If you've ever found yourself digging into savings or even taking on debt just to attend a big concert or festival, then this video is for you. By the end of our session, you'll understand: 1. Why you feel this pressure to prioritize short-term experiences over your future security. And 2. How to train your mind and build practical habits so you can strike the perfect balance, still enjoy life's special moments without sacrificing your long-term dreams. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. First, let's get real about why concerts, festivals, and other big events seem so tempting, even when we know they might derail our savings. There are 4 key forces at play. 1. Present bias, temporal discounting. 2. Hedonic adaptation and the experience premium. 3. Social proof, status signaling. And FOMO. 4. Emotional triggers and the YOLO mentality. Let's unpack each one. Have you ever thought, I'd rather have 1,000 shillings today than 1,100 shillings a month from now? That's present bias, also known as temporal discounting. Our brain is wired to chase immediate rewards, like that adrenaline rush from securing a concert ticket. Meanwhile, the idea of missing out on future savings feels abstract and distant. It's human nature. Neurologically, we get a rush of dopamine when we see friends posting concert selfies on Instagram. That instant gratification often drowns out any rational thought about long-term consequences. So even if you know that spending 10,000 shillings on a ticket today means 15,000 shillings less in your retirement account, 5 years from now, it's hard to resist that present buzz. Next up, hedonic adaptation. Once you've been to a big concert, that magical feeling quickly turns into I've done that. You adapt and your thrill level drops. So you chase the next big thing, maybe VIP tickets, better seats, or overseas festivals. On top of that, research tells us we place an experience premium on things we tie to our identity. If you consider yourself a die-hard fan, missing that one concert feels like missing a piece of who you are. The anticipation and social bragging rights around experiences make us willing to pay more than we might rationally consider worth it. Think about the last time you saw your friends RSVP going to a major concert on Facebook, or your workmates chatting about meeting the artist backstage. That's social proof in action. If my circle thinks this is a can't-miss event, it must be worth it. Add status signaling, the desire to show I'm in the know or I belong to the in crowd, and the dreaded FOMO, fear of missing out. Social media makes FOMO feel urgent, whispering, if you don't go, you'll be left out forever. That pressure can push you to borrow funds, dip into savings, or charge the ticket to a high-interest loan. It's one thing to want to share memories with friends. It's another to risk your financial stability for that sense of belonging. Finally, we can't ignore emotional triggers and the ever-present YOLO, you only live once, messaging. When life's pressures, work stress, family obligations, everyday grind pile up, a big event feels like a perfect escape. Add billboards, social media ads, and song lyrics screaming, "Seize the night." And it's like our brain is being coached to prioritize the thrill right now. Culturally, in Nairobi, Lagos, Johannesburg, and many urban hubs, vibrant nightlife is a marker of modern success. If you opt out, you risk feeling behind. All of this amplifies the desire to sacrifice long-term goals for the immediate high. Now that we've peeled back why these urges exist, let's talk about how to train your mind, rewire your habits, and create a sustainable balance between short-term pleasure and long-term goals. These aren't just theories, they're actionable steps you can start using today. We'll cover 8 major strategies. 1. Cultivate self-awareness. 2. Set compelling, concrete long-term goals. 3. Build a future self connection. 4. Design a budget that respects both wants and needs. 5. Use commitment devices and accountability. 6. Practice delayed gratification in micro habits. 7. Reframe how you define pleasure and reward. 8. Develop mindfulness and pause mechanisms. Let's dive in. Step 1 is all about awareness. You can't fix what you don't notice. Here's a simple exercise I call the impulse calendar. 1. Keep an impulse log for 2 weeks. Whenever you feel the urge to buy that expensive concert ticket or sign up for a pricey experience, open a small notebook or a notes app. Jot down what triggered it, like saw friend's Facebook story. Note the emotion, such as felt lonely after work, and what you did, for example, planned to buy, but waited 24 hours. 2. Review patterns. After 2 weeks, scan your entries. Maybe Fridays after work, you're more susceptible to impulse buys, or late night scrolling is your danger zone. 3. Label your bias. When the urge strikes, mentally say, present bias is kicking in. Naming the bias weakens its power over you. 4. Create a trigger response plan. If you know that 8 p.m. on Instagram is when you get tempted by concert ads, create a simple rule. If I see a concert ad, I'll wait 24 hours and then reassess. That cool-off period allows your rational brain time to catch up. Next, give your future goals teeth. Instead of, "I want to save for retirement," craft a vivid emotional vision. 1. Define your why in vivid detail. For example, by age 50, I want Kenya shilling 10 million invested so my family can travel to Masai Mara every year. I can support my siblings' education and I can retire peacefully. Add emotional anchors like, "I want to see my parents build their dream home in Kiambu, send my children to a top boarding school, and never worry about unexpected medical bills." 2. Apply the SMART framework. Make it specific. Kenya shillings 10 million for semi-retirement travel, sibling support, and peace of mind. Measurable. Break it down. If I save Kenya shillings 200,000 per year, I'll reach Kenya shillings 10 million in 10 years, assuming 8 to 10% annual returns. Achievable. Confirm with your income and expense analysis. Relevant. Tie back to core values: family security, community standing, early retirement. Time-bound. By December 31st, 2035, I will have Kenya shilling 10 million in my retirement fund. 3. Write it down and display it. Put this vision statement on your fridge or beside your desk. Every time you feel that pull toward an expensive experience, glance at your goals to ground yourself in the bigger picture. 4. Create a financial vision board. Collect images and words that represent your long-term dreams. Photos of Masai Mara wildlife, a map of Europe if you want to travel there someday, pictures of a house you'd love to own in Karen. Keep this board on your phone's lock screen or as a physical collage. When late night scrolling tempts you, spend 15 seconds looking at your board instead. That preview of your future success can rival the dopamine hit you get from a concert ad. Humans think about future rewards in very abstract ways. We know logically that saving is important, but it doesn't feel real. Let's fix that. 1. Write a letter to your future self. Date it 10 years from now. Describe in vivid detail how your life is if you follow through on your long-term plan. Dear Frederick, it's 2035. You're debt-free. You own your home in Riru. Your kids are in good schools. And you just got back from a Masai Mara safari with your whole family. Your retirement fund is at Kenya shillings 15 million, thanks to disciplined investing. You feel secure, proud, and excited for whatever comes next. Read that letter aloud once a week, ideally on a Sunday evening. The more you hear your future self's voice, the more real those future benefits become. 2. Visualize the pain of regret. Spend 5 minutes imagining a scenario where it's 2030, you're still paying off a Kenya shillings 200,000 loan you took for concert tickets. You can't afford your child's school fees or a decent vacation. You feel stressed, anxious, and stuck. Then contrast it with it's 2030. You have Kenya shilling 2 million in an emergency fund. You just took your spouse to Europe and your family is thriving. Neuroscience shows that simulating future regret can be a powerful motivator, sometimes even stronger than simulating success. Budgeting doesn't have to feel like deprivation. In fact, it's about allocating resources to both the present and the future. We recommend the 50-20-30 bucket method. 1. Essentials needs, 50% of net income. This includes rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, and essential transport. For example, if your monthly take-home pay is 100,000 Kenyan shillings, then 50,000 goes here. 2. Savings and debt repayment, 20 to 30%. This covers emergency fund contributions, retirement or investment accounts, and any loan repayments. For instance, 20,000 shillings per month could be split into 5,000 for an emergency fund. Until you have a 3 to 6 month cushion, 10,000 into a pension plan or love takaful fund, and 5,000 for debt repayment if you have existing loans. 3. Fun and lifestyle wants, 20 to 30%. This includes dining out, shopping, subscriptions, and critically, experiences and social life like concerts, festivals, and travel. Within that 20 to 30%, carve out a dedicated concert fund. If you plan to attend 2 major concerts per year and each costs around 20,000 shillings, including ticket, transport, and snacks, that's 40,000 annually, or roughly 3,333 per month. Automate this by setting up an automatic transfer to move 3,333 into a separate entertainment savings account every month. 4. Automate it, pay yourself first. The moment your salary lands, have 10,000 shillings auto-transferred to your retirement or investment account, and 3,333 auto-transferred to your dedicated concert fund. The rest, 86,667, stays in your main account for needs and wants. Finally, weekly budget hurdles. Every Friday afternoon, spend just 10 minutes reviewing. Are my needs on track? Have I put enough into savings and debt? Am I within my wants allocation? If not, why? The goal is consistency, not perfection. That weekly check keeps you honest and aware. Humans tend to stick to plans that have accountability built in. Here are some tactics. 1. Public commitment. Tell a trusted friend, family member, or spouse, I commit to not spending any money on concerts outside my 3,333 shillings per month fund for the next 3 months. Once you say it out loud to someone else, the social cost of backtracking becomes real. 2. Accountability partner. Pair up with someone else working on a long-term financial goal. Set a monthly check-in. Share your bank balance screenshots or a simplified summary to prove you didn't dip into your emergency fund or take a high-interest loan. Mutual oversight keeps both partners honest and motivated. 3. Pre-commit to a penalty. If you break the rule, say you buy a concert ticket despite your concert fund being empty, impose a penalty. I will donate 2,000 shillings to a charity I don't support, or I will do an extra no spend week next month. That looming penalty can be a strong deterrent. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to get control over impulse spending. Start with these micro habits. 1. The 30-second rule. Next time you feel that auction block impulse to buy a ticket, simply pause for 30 seconds. In that time, ask yourself, will I regret this tomorrow, 5 years from now? Sometimes, naming the counterfactual is enough to kill the urge. 2. Weekly no-spend challenge. Pick 1 week per month to spend nothing on discretionary items. No movie and popcorn, no roadside samosas, and yes, no concert tickets. You'll realize how many non-essential pleasures you can live without, and that confidence overflows into other areas. 3. Gamify your savings. Turn saving into a game or challenge. If I avoid buying any concert tickets for the next 2 months, I reward myself with 5,000 shillings to use on a nice dinner. By pairing short-term positive reinforcement, like a dinner out, with short-term self-control, like no tickets, your brain starts to crave the process of delaying gratification. Often, the real need behind that concert ticket is connection, novelty, or escape, not the concert itself. Here's how to reframe. 1. Seek lower-cost, high-value alternatives. Instead of a 15,000 Kenyan shillings stadium ticket, try a local acoustic night at a cafe for 500 shillings, or maybe a group listening party at home. Project a live stream of the artist, make some popcorn, invite friends. You could also consider a weekend trip to a community-based festival for 2,000 shillings. When your reference point shifts to, I don't need a big stadium show, you find joy in simpler, more affordable experiences. 2. Focus on connection over consumption. If you crave social bonding, orchestrate a monthly culture club. Maybe rotate who hosts and everyone brings snacks to watch a live performance on YouTube. You could also volunteer as a team at a local music event. Organizers often give volunteers free or discounted tickets. This way, you get that sense of belonging without draining your bank account. 3. Make anticipation part of the reward. Sometimes, waiting is half the fun. Instead of buying the ticket right away, spend days building excitement. Listen to new song releases, watch old concert footage, invite a friend over to discuss the artist's discography. By the time concert day arrives, you might realize you're already exhilarated. No need to splurge on VIP passes. Finally, let's talk about mindfulness, the practice of bringing our full attention to the present moment. Even a few seconds of mindful reflection can change the trajectory of a spending decision. First, the check-in pause. Next time your brain screams, "Buy this ticket now," take a deep breath, close your eyes for 5 seconds, and ask, "Is this a want or a need? Am I seeking relief from stress? Is this aligned with my goals?" That short pause allows your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, to engage. Second, a monthly emotional well-being audit. On the last day of every month, do a quick check-in, rate your satisfaction 1 to 10 with your relationships, work, health rituals. If you notice one area is low, say you feel isolated or burned out, address that directly instead of chasing a quick fix through an expensive concert. Maybe schedule a therapy session, join a sports club, or book a coffee with a friend. Third, a spending journal with emotion tags. Beyond tracking how much you spend, add a single sentence about why you spent. Bought that 8,000 Kenyan shillings. VIP ticket because my friend insisted and I felt left out this weekend. Over time, you'll uncover emotional triggers, loneliness, boredom, stress, so you can redirect your energy. If you realize that many impulsive purchases happen when you feel stressed at work, you look for healthier coping mechanisms like meditation or a short walk instead of draining your savings. Last but not least, celebrate your wins. Without positive reinforcement, it's hard to maintain new habits. Here's how. 1. Celebrate milestones. When you hit a savings milestone, say 100,000 Kenyan shillings in your emergency fund, treat yourself with a low-cost but meaningful celebration. A picnic at Uhuru Park, a family potluck dinner, or a free museum exhibit visit. This signals to your brain that saving pays off, making the habit more rewarding. 2. Planned indulgences. Set up a quarterly fun day fund, for example 5,000 Kenyan shillings every 3 months. When the day arrives, you have permission to spend it on anything that sparks joy. A local concert, a small weekend getaway, a special dinner. Because it's pre-funded, you won't feel guilt or jeopardize your long-term goals. 3. Reflect on opportunity cost. After attending any event, do a quick mental calculation. Actual cost, ticket, 8,000 Kenyan shillings, plus transport and snacks equals 10,000 Kenyan shillings. What if I'd invested that 10,000 at 10% per year for 5 years? Approximately 16,100 shillings. Compare that to 10 hours of live music versus nearly 6,000 more in my pocket 5 years from now. Repeatedly reflecting on this helps cement the idea that missing one show today can mean more freedom tomorrow. If you want a structured path, here's a 4-week workshop plan you can follow, either on your own or with a coaching group. Feel free to adapt it to your schedule and context. Week 1, self-awareness, and bias identification. First, introduce everyone and share one big impulse purchase regret. Then, explain present bias and hedonic adaptation with real-life examples. Assign start the 2-week impulse calendar. Finally, group role play. Impulse versus long-term thinking scenarios. Week 2, goal setting and visualization. Workshop. Each participant writes a vivid 10-year vision statement. Pair up. Refine each other's SMART goals. Create a financial vision board, digital or paper. Assignment. Write a letter to your future self for the year 2035. Week 3, budget design and commitment devices. Teach the 50-20-30 bucket method. Walk through sample budgets. Breakout, draft individual budgets with a fun fund for experiences. Live demo, set up an automated M-Pizza or bank transfer for savings and concert funds. Accountability partner participants for monthly check-ins. Week 4, behavioral tools, mindfulness and celebration. Introduce the 30-second rule and the no spend week challenge. Lead a 5-minute guided mindfulness exercise focused on spending. Group discussion, alternative low-cost experiences that still deliver joy. Final reflection. Share one habit each person will continue. Plan a post-program celebration using a planned indulgence fund. By the end of these 4 weeks, each person will recognize personal triggers for impulsive spending, articulate at least 2 vivid, emotionally charged, long-term financial goals, have a working budget that includes a dedicated fun experience fund, be set up with at least one commitment device, like an automated transfer or accountability partner, and possess a mindfulness or pause technique to use whenever FOMO strikes. Let's recap the key takeaways. 1. It's normal but controllable. Wanting that once-in-a-lifetime concert is human nature, fueled by present bias, social proof, FOMO, and emotional triggers. But recognizing these is the first step to taking back control. 2. Awareness is foundation. Start by observing your urges with an impulse calendar. Name the biases: present bias, hedonic adaptation, status signaling, FOMO, and they lose their grip. 3. Concrete goals anchor decisions. Vivid, emotionally charged, smart long-term goals make it easier to say no to expensive impulses that don't align with your vision. 4. Budgeting doesn't mean zero fun. Use the 50-20-30 bucket method and carve out a specific experience fund. You can still attend concerts, you just do it within a plan that preserves your future. 5. Behavioral hacks work. Pre-commitment, like auto transfers and public pledges, cool-off periods like the 30-second rule and 24-hour wait, and an accountability partner let your rational brain catch up. 6. Find lower-cost experiences. If the underlying need is connection or escape, look for lower-cost substitutes: house listening parties, local jazz nights, volunteering backstage at community events. 7. Celebrate progress appropriately. When you hit milestones, celebrate with a budgeted reward. That positive reinforcement cements good habits much more effectively than berating yourself for overspending. Balancing short-term pleasure with long-term goals isn't about denying yourself. It's about making conscious, aligned choices. You can still experience life's incredible moments, concerts, festivals, adventures, without jeopardizing your financial future. Remember, every time you choose long-term security over an impulse purchase, you're choosing to empower your future self. If you found this video valuable, Smash that like button. Subscribe to High Flyer Insights channel for more personal finance and self-development content. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss a video. Tell me in the comments, what's one impulse you're going to pause on this week? Or share a low-cost experience you love that still gives you that sense of living life to the fullest. Also, if you're looking for a personalized coaching session or a group workshop to implement these strategies, DM us on social media. We'd love to help you and your team build a roadmap to both financial freedom and a fulfilling life. Thanks for watching, High Flyer family. Until next time, remember, invest in your future and enjoy the journey.